Hi guys, thought I'd make a video about what Panic Man 10 is all about, and people should know by now what it's all about, right? I'm gonna talk to everybody about this and talk about the incident that happened with the LGBT and stuff like that, okay? So, here's the thing. You know that this is a Christian channel, right? Okay. Originally, it started off being about me, which was about gaming and a little bit about everything. That's how it started, was a little bit about everything actually, and then it turned into gaming. Um, then God, because I have the Holy Spirit in me, flips the script and goes, okay, we're making this about me. I'm like, okay. Now, if you've never encountered the Holy Spirit, you have no idea what I'm about to say, right? Okay, you're probably going to think that what I'm saying is bonkers, but it's actually true. If you've ever encountered the Holy Spirit for real, and I'm not joking when I say this, and I even say this to my fellow Christians out there too, okay, because I'll tell you the truth about what it's like when you encounter the Holy Spirit, okay? Some of you have picked up on it in my videos and you've seen me change, literally, okay? When the Holy Spirit takes over, you don't have control, okay? It's like being possessed, but in a good way, you know? It's not mental illness, okay? It's literally another spirit takes over, right? Okay. Think of like demonic possession, but think of it like in a good way, okay? So, the things that I talk about when I talk about Christianity, when I talk about anything, including the LGBT, all that stuff, right? They're not my opinions. They're literally right out of the Bible, okay? And that is literally the source. And it's literally the Holy Spirit telling you what to do and what not to do and why. You see, there's so much sin in the world right now, so much sin that has been normalized, that you guys don't realize how close we are to the end. My goal, my job, is to wake up as many people as possible to the truth. And the fact is, and this goes for all sinners, the fact is, if you're a sinner, which everyone here is, okay, every single person is, the only one not to be a sinner is Jesus Christ, okay? If you're a sinner, you have to admit that you're a sinner, okay, to be saved, all right? Let me make this clear. You have to admit that you're a sinner, and the only one that can save you is Jesus Christ, okay? If you don't do this, and this is biblical, if you don't do this, you're not saved. You're not going to heaven. Like, period, at all. Okay? Understand what our job is down here to do is to worship, honor, and glorify God first above all things. Our whole purpose, every single human being, okay, no matter what, our whole purpose is to serve God. Literally. I'm not even joking. When we die, if we go to heaven, because if we choose to go to heaven, we're serving God. While we're here on earth, we're to serve God and Jesus Christ. That's what it means to pick up your cross, is you're serving Jesus Christ. That's what it means by when you say, Lord, show me your path. That means you're serving Jesus Christ. You see, when the Holy Spirit comes into you, for real, and this is how you're going to know you have the Holy Spirit or not, okay? When the Holy Spirit comes into you for real, you're driving the car, okay? The car is your body, okay? I'm going to use the car as a metaphor, okay? You're driving the car and you're going north, right? Okay. So when the Holy Spirit comes into you, it pushes you off to the side and now you're in the passenger seat. You see everything, you hear everything, you know everything that's going on around you, but you're not in control. Okay? So I'm not in control of my body, the Holy Spirit is. And it decides, okay, that's it, we're doing a 180 and we're going south. And I'm like, I just came back from that direction. Why would I want to go back that way? That's because I'm obeying Jesus Christ. I am obeying God the Father. And by obeying them, doing my best not to sin, the Holy Spirit goes, okay, I'm taking over now, right? Okay. And it's in charge. If you don't believe me, go watch John Rich, okay? He did a podcast with Tucker Carlson a long time ago when he came up with that song, Revelation, okay? All right? And then he even made his own channel talking about this stuff too, all right? And so, when the Holy Spirit takes over, that's exactly what happens. I'm not in control. The very first time it happened to me actually was up at Starbucks. A little bit of a story here for context and background, right? The very first time it happened to me was when I moved here. And I had an encounter with the Holy Spirit, you know. When I went up to Starbucks, now get this. I got my favorite drink, okay, 2 flats of it, which is Fresca, okay, ice cold. Picked it up at the store, okay, 2 flats of it, so I don't need any. That's 48 bottles. That's a lot. They're 500 milliliters, right? Okay, that's a lot, okay. And I find myself going to Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks. Too expensive for me, okay. I'm poor. I make $1,500 Canadian a month, okay? Like I'm lucky to be alive. If you want to talk about God working, trust me, God's very real, okay? So I go, no. Well, like, you know, can't afford that place. I never go there, okay? I find myself going towards Starbucks. And then I find myself going into Starbucks. I'm like, why am I going to Starbucks? Like, this is what the Holy Spirit does, okay? Like, legit, straight up. I ain't lying about this. This is the truth, okay? I go into Starbucks. I ordered the most expensive drink. Like I said, I can't go there in the first place. But I ordered the most expensive drink with the most ingredients, recognizing it's going to take them a while to make it, okay? The whole place is packed. It's at the busiest time of the day. There's a lineup out the door going down several city street blocks. And if you know city blocks, you know they're really friggin' long, okay? Basically, it went down 4 streets, okay? And then the Holy Spirit takes over and starts blasting everybody in the whole entire place. And I was like, after I was done, okay, and I went through every single sin from A to Z, from abortion all the way through, right? Okay, every sin, right? Why? And the Holy Spirit is direct, okay? It doesn't babble. It goes, this is wrong, this is why, moves on. This is wrong, this is why, moves on, okay? 45 minutes later, it gives me back my body. And I just freaked out. I went like an umpire that goes safe, you know, at a baseball game and over exaggerates it. I went down in that kind of a stance and I was like this, whoa, 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 whoa. What happened? What happened? What happened? What was that all about? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, right? The police were there. The manager was there. the whole place stopped. Everybody stopped ordering drinks. Everybody took their faces out of their tablets and out of their cell phones, and everybody was hanging on every single word I said. And understand, I'm a shy, timid person. Okay? I hate giving speeches. I hate giving lectures. I will not stand up on stage and do that kind of stuff. That is not me. So to me, to go to a public place at the busiest time and start blasting people about all the sins, that's not me. I know me. 100% I know me. Okay. I hate going in school, even standing up on in front of the whole class giving a speech about something, like, like dance or something like that. I hate that. I had to do that in college and in university and all sorts of things, right? And I hated doing those things. Okay. So when I came out of it, everybody was listening to me. I didn't even know it, right? Now I could see everything. I could hear everything, right? But I wasn't in control. As I left the store, I went, am I going nuts? Like, that was the very first thing I thought, like, was mental illness, literally. And that's the very first thing I thought. Am I going nuts? Like, what was that all about? And then I went, God, was that you? I don't know why that came up. I just did it. I just went, God, was that you? Now I'm walking back with my card, okay, coming home. And I get to my place. I go into meditation, blank out my mind completely, and I know how because I am a martial artist and I took ninjutsu and that and special training in the military. So trust me, you can blank out your mind, right? So I blanked it out completely. And I asked God one question. Was that you? Yes or no? Waited for an answer. And I got in big white capital letters, yes. I went, okay, just making sure. Now, I passed it by a colleague of mine because, like I told you, I took psychology, okay? And I said, I want to know what you think about this situation, okay? So out of curiosity, I'm going to bounce something off of you, okay? So we kept it person A, person B kind of thing, right? Okay, you know how it is, right? You don't mention names, right? So I said, okay, I got this client, which is actually technically me. And I said, what do you make of this situation? Is this mental illness or what? I'm not too sure, like I'm kind of like, I'm thinking it could be, and it could be this or that. What do you think? And I was mentioning IPD and a whole bunch of other things, multi-personality and stuff, right? And there's different branches of that kind of stuff, right? And he goes to me, he goes, it doesn't sound anything like that. I'm not too sure what that was, but it doesn't sound like it's anything that I'm aware of in terms of mental illness. And I said, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. He said, why? Well, I said, I got this client, I don't know, you know what I mean, right? And I'm just like trying to get some input on it. He said, yeah, no problem, glad to help you out. That's what it's like to have an encounter with the Holy Spirit, okay? So you're not in control, you know? Now, I only get 15 minutes, so I think we're going to leave it there for now and then do maybe another part to this, okay? But you have to understand that when somebody actually is in the Spirit, they're not in control. It literally is the Holy Spirit taking over. So I hope this helps people to understand what it's like when people talk in the Spirit. I mean, you hear people talking in tongues and all sorts of things, right? But that's a topic for another time. So I got to end this now, unfortunately, because I only get 15 minutes. Thank you.